Well, it's Uncommon Fossil, and they want to talk about Snorlax Stall. I think it's in a really good position now that Paradox Rift has brought Counter Catcher back to the game. So let's go over the list. I've talked Stall before. I've certainly made some other changes to it. I don't remember exactly card for card, but keeping the list pretty straightforward and simple. Look, Snorlax Stall is, you're going to take some knockouts, and that's okay. You just can't give up 6 prizes. You give up 4 prizes, you don't even sweat it, really. It's not a big problem. So, based around Snorlax from Pokemon Go, with the block ability, as long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, your opponent's active, Pokemon can't retreat. Now, we do play some other Pokemon, and of course, they can get bossed up. And so you have to be aware of that. We do have ways to get them out of play eventually, too, though. So what else do we play besides 4 copies of Snorlax? Play 1 copy of the Mimikyu from Pal Pad Evolve with the Safeguard ability. Prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacking your opponent's EX in Pokemon V. So that's really good. A lot of decks just have those as attackers. That forces your opponent to be smart. Sometimes, if your opponent is in like a Charizard Pidgeot type deck, you want to keep the Mimikyu back until they've evolved other Pokemon up to the EXs, and then all of a sudden lay this down and say, and then they're like, uh-oh, now I can't do damage. Because even if they can just do 10 damage or something with some basic Pokemon, eventually they will get through this. But even then, it's not the worst thing in the world. We want to slow them down, just help us get set up so we can gust and make their life difficult. So even times slowing things down for a turn or two helps us advance the win condition. Then this is the big engine piece to the deck, Rotom V. It's a 2-prizer. Generally, I figure it's going to get knocked out in the course of the game, but we can get out of play as well. So we'll talk about that in the trainers here, but it's here for instant charge ability. Once during a turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you use this ability, your turn ends. So if you remember back to Zacian V from Sword and Shield, similar ability. Although that actually was a little better and a better attacker too. A better Pokemon, but just drawing 3 cards, turn ends. We're not attacking, so that's fine. Just gets us 3 cards, so we're prepared for the next turn. So really good there. And then Pidgeot V, 1 copy of this. And this here is just to make the deck infinite, because we're decking out our opponent generally, is the win condition for us. So it's Vanishing Wings ability. Once during a turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may shuffle it and all attached cards into your deck. So just get it on the bench. Make sure Path's not in play. Shuffle it back into the deck, and you can't deck out. Very easy way to avoid decking out. If Pidgeot V becomes the last card in deck, just play it down. You draw it for turn, play it down, put it back in. It becomes your deck, and you're all set until your opponent decks out. So energies, no energies, because we're never attacking with this deck. That's a really nice thing about this deck. All right, getting into the trainers, a pretty wide variety of trainers. A lot of trainers when I scroll through this list here. So a lot of one-ofs, which we get to eventually, right? We don't have the ability to get the card on the turn we want it necessarily, although sometimes we can. We'll talk about that too. So 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, really good in the deck. Could play a second copy, but we could recover cards too. So look at your face-down prize cards, put a basic Pokemon you find there into your hand, put Hisuian Heavy Ball as the prizes, and shuffle them up. We just need to get that Rotom V, or we need the Pidgeot V, or the Mimikyu. We just need to get that one of Pokemon into play. So we have that 1 Switch Cart. Let's see, and we don't play Rope, so this is one of the few ways we have to switch in our deck. So 1 copy of that there. 4 Misfortune Sisters, a really good card in the deck. Look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. Discard a number of item cards you find there. And then you shuffle the rest back into the deck. Big part of it is we want to get rid of those switching cards. Things like Switch Cart, which is in this deck, Rope, regular Switch, things like that. So once there's whatever, we can get a card stuck in the active, and we just win the game. Okay, that's one of the goals. Just get something stuck in the active, we win the game. And honestly, they can, like I said, we're willing to give up some prizes. So as long as they have a card in play that they can't attack with, a few turns they might be able to get out of the active, but eventually we're going to get it stuck there over time. For Pokégear, the deck doesn't really have an engine, so just Pokégear gives the deck a bit of an engine. 1 Battle VIP Pass, just 1 copy, but we do play some supporters. We play 4 Arven in the deck. We'll get to that. That's kind of the engine of the deck too, for Arven. So Battle VIP Pass, often want Arven for it if we go second, or hopefully we draw into it, or get Forest Seal Stone to draw it, right? Because it's useful, but we need a lot of things in the deck. One, Team Yell's Cheer just helps get the cards back. Shuffle any combination of Pokemon and supporter cards, except for Team Yell's Cheers, for your discard pile into your deck. So just a way to recover cards there. Some stadiums we playing. Let's see, we're playing 2 Pokemon League headquarters. Each basics attack costs 1 more. It helps them. Right, Cramorant's attack is not free anymore in Lost Zone, and that's very useful. They need to attach an energy. Sableye needs 2 energies up against, say, a Miraidon deck, which is a tricky one. The Miraidons and the Raikus all need 1 more energy, and with gusting and stuff, it just makes life more difficult there. The other stadium I'm doing is a Temple of Sinnoh. It shuts down special energies, just becomes 1 colorless, and that's very effective against a number of decks too. Have had that come in clutch for games. In particular, one of the new decks is I'm blanking on the name. It might be Iron Valiant, the one that when you switch it out of the active into the active puts 2 damage counters. Is tricky. That one's playing Rapid Strike Urshifu and Rapid Strike Medicham V and Rapid Strike Energy, so Temple of Sinnoh is good against that matchup. I've had value out of it in that matchup for sure already. 2 Erika's Invitation. This is a really good card. It came out in 151, and I used to have a Manaphy that attacked for 1 water that could put Pokemon onto the bench, but this is better than that because I don't need a Pokemon in play. I don't need to use my attack for it. Rather, Erika's Invitation supporter, your opponent reveals their hand. You put a basic Pokemon you find there onto their bench. If you put a Pokemon onto their bench this way, switch that Pokemon into the active spot. So not only do you get it onto the bench, but you get it into the active. So we have Erika's Invitation if Pokemon's in their hand. If they're smart enough, right, you don't bench non-attacking Pokemon, but we got to get them into play. Erika's Invitation gets it out of hand. You might want to wait. The 2 best times for this are early game, if your opponent's smart and you think, okay, they got 5 or 6 cards. They're probably too smart to play Radiant Greninja in this deck because they can't attack with it. Well, but it might be sitting there. Let me get it down. The other is late game if they've built up a big hand, right? You use it when you can, though. And then the other card that pairs with it is Echoing Horn, 1 copy. There you put a basic from the discard pile onto the bench. So we can get Pokemon from the hand or the discard pile into play. That's what we need to make happen. We play 2 Forest Seal Stones, another kind of engine piece, really good here. And Arven works, part of why we want Arven in the deck. You attach it to a V, either your Rotom or your Pidgeot, and you get to search your deck for any 1 card. So really, really good card. That's why we're playing 2 copies of it, which is just very excessive for a deck like this. Once you put 2 copies in, it's like, whoa, 2 copies. You must be really crucial, right? Counter Catcher, 4 copies. Love this card in this deck. Right, you can only use it if you have more prizes remaining than your opponent, but we're never taking prizes, so we're gonna fall behind, right? Unless we're in a stall control mirror, then oh well, life's gonna take a long time for then. But then it works as a boss. You switch one of your opponent's benched with their active Pokemon, but doesn't use your supporter, so you can use Counter Catcher and Misfortune Sister, same turn. Really good. You're getting that Pokemon stalled, and you're getting rid of some of the switching cards, same turn. A really good feeling. Cyllene helps us recover any card we have in the discard pile, including items, which are very important and hard to recover. You flip 2 coins, put a number of cards up to the number of heads that you flipped from your discard pile on top of your decks in any order. So not only do they go into your deck, but you can guarantee the top of your deck so you draw into it. Very nice there. 4 Pokemon catchers. Could cut 1 catcher maybe. Maybe I should make that adjustment. You might want to do that. Go to 3 catchers, but you flip a coin. If heads, you switch the benched with the active. Same thing as Counter Catcher, but you don't have to be behind on prizes. The downside is it's a coin flip card. So it is very nice there. 1 Pal Pad, just recover the supporter. Penny, very good in this deck too. You put a basic Pokemon, all attached cards into your hand. So that the attached cards is important. We get the tool back. If we have 4 Seal Stone we haven't used, say on our Rotom V, and it's taken some damage, you want to get it out of play, get it up, but we could play it back down with the tool and use that tool. Or Bravery Charm, which we definitely play that, and that gives you an extra 50 HP on your basic Pokemon. Then you boom, you pick up your Snorlax with the Bravery Charm. They both go into hand, and you can play them back down. If they're starting to do some damage, say like hitting with Cramorant, sprinkling damage, Sableye, something like that, get a damaged Pokemon out of play. You can play it back down if you want, or just keep it in hand. For Nest Ball, we need to get, all we have is basics. We want to get them in play, so very good there. As I said, the 3 Bravery Charm, 3 copies is enough there. Does extra 50 HP, which again is partly why Arven is good in the deck for boss, because we want to keep getting our opponents' Pokemon stuck in the active, make them suffer through the games, what this is about. Peonia is very important in a deck like this because we're not taking prizes, so you pick 3 prizes, put them into your hand, then replace those with 3 cards from your hand, which of course could be the same cards again. So it's a way to get cards out of the prizes that we want. And we can recover Peonia with some of the cards we have, like Pal Pad, Team Cheer, Cyllene. So we can do it, and we can ultimately get through all of the cards, all the prize cards. For Arven, like I said, you search your deck for an item and a tool. Just this Arven was okay when it came out. Maybe I didn't respect it as much as I should have. I may be guilty of that. But at this point, it's become more and more important as tools. Any deck that needs tools, really important there. And obviously, we have a lot of new good tools in Paradox Rift, so that Arven's going to be played a lot more. 1 Super Rod, recover up to 3 Pokemon and or energy. Basic energy, of course, we play no energy, so get some Pokemon back into the deck. Really good there. Like Mimikyu can be good in matchups, but eventually your opponent hits through it. If it takes them like 3 or 4 turns to hit through a Mimikyu, you know what you want to do? Recover Mimikyu, get it back into play, make your opponent hit through that Mimikyu again, right? Just gives you more time to set up. And 3 Cross Switchers. This was the card I cut, making space. I used to play 4. Maybe I'm thinking I should cut a Pokemon Catcher and put back in the 4th Cross Switch. But Cross Switcher is good too. You switch your opponent's Pokemon bench to active, and then you switch one of your bench to active. So a very nice card. Another Gusting. So we have a ton of Gusting cards in the deck now. Snorlax Stall was good before Paradox Rift, and I think it is all that much better. I'm a little concerned that we're going to see a lot of Stall because it's not fun to play against. I get that, right? And certainly these games take long, but hey, it's an important deck. You need to know how to play against it. So even if you don't like it, think about the deck and learn how to play it and how to play against it. Hopefully we get some good gameplay now to show it off. All right, let's see what happens here. Hopefully we get a nice game to show the deck off. I don't know that it'll be an interesting game per se because Stall is not the most exciting, but hopefully can make some good decisions and the Stall deck can do its thing. And certainly if our opponent makes any plays, bad decisions, we want to punish them for that severely. That's kind of one of the things Stall does. Look, it's a sound strategy in and of itself, but then it really looks to smack your opponents really hard when they make a misplay. Okay, so they're seeing, oh, this is bad. This is the one Pokemon I don't want to start the game with, right? I have to get him out of there. So, all right, well, that's not, okay. I can get a tool, and, okay. This is an awkward one because the damage. So they're built to move a lot, but the good news is because of all that movement, and I do play Temple of Sinnoh, so I can shut down the special energy. I have run into this matchup before with this deck, and I do believe I won it. I don't know that I recorded it, first off, and I don't know that it's particularly interesting. I think I knocked out a Ursula with VMAX, right? No, I'm getting completely confused. I took a knockout with her. That would have been my Lunatone Solrock, and I just blew them up with my Lunatone. That's the deck I was thinking of playing against this. So no, I have not played my Stall deck against this. So they place damage counters on. Well, what I can do is I do have the supporter to scoop up cards, so that's nice as well. So Arven for Battle VIP Pass. No, Oh yeah, Battle VIP Pass and the and I want to scoop this guy up. What do I call that one? So I got to be careful here. So they're going to sprinkle around a lot of damage. That's, well, Switch Cart is good too. So that's one tool. That's one piece of the deck I don't need. So definitely play Arven. I want this guy. Don't need Switch. I will grab maybe I'll just do this. No. Let me get the I think I want to get another Battle VIP Pass into play this turn. That's what I'm thinking. I need, because I think I need to. So Mimikyu has value, but the Mimikyu gets blown up, right? So, and I want to get Rotom down, and I want to get him out of the active. So I'll play this, grab another, use Star Alchemy, grab another Battle VIP Pass. Sorry, I've been thinking to myself, I should be talking. No, I only have one Battle VIP Pass. Silly me. Okay, so I'll just grab the Rotom. That's all right. I forgot. So some decks, some lists play 2 Battle VIP Pass. I'm just running the 1. That's okay. All right, so send up the Snorlax. Get him out of play because I don't want him there. The Rotom could give up 2 prizes, which I don't like that. Just get some cards in hand. We'll see what happens. The Mimikyu can have value. The difficulty with the Mimikyu, it's 70 HP. Okay, they evolve there. Okay, I mean, all right. Well, digging through their deck is good for me. I'm guessing they're going to smack 2 Pokemon. I do like Earthen Vessel. I'm looking forward to using that in a number of decks. So they're okay. So they're just attacking. You know. Okay, I'm weak. That's a weird graphic, right? The way it goes bloop and bloop again. So don't love that, right? So I guess I'm going to need the Mimikyu at this point, right? Because I'm not feeling great, right? Not feeling great. So I think I want to try to just get rid of some card. All right, get rid of 2 switching cards. That's really nice because Switch is bad for me. Very bad, right? Switch is very bad. So I will just end with this. Okay, Counter Catcher is nice, and I can use Counter Catcher now. I'm really pleased to have Counter Catcher in format for this deck, right? Because you get behind on prizes, you're taking 0 prize over the course of the game. Got rid of a couple switching cards. I'll set up the Mimikyu because they can't actually damage him with the attack, so that's a plus for sure. They're setting up the Medicham of this guy though. That's a problem. I was hoping to draw the supporter to get him out of play. Next turns when they do it, I think, right? Ooh, no, they do it again. Okay, so they can Medicham this turn but they need the switching cards. So DTE, do they have the switch? The plus, they have rope. All right, I will send up Rotom because they're taking out the Rotom. I mean, that's their only play. They've attached per turn, so they're knocking out the Rotom. So it gives me the option to advance whatever I want. That's the nice thing here. And I think I send up the Mimikyu at this point. We'll see what they can do. Right, so I could lose the game to another Medicham, certainly. Let's see, no Pokemon on the discard pile to Echoing Horn. I do have Counter Catcher, but I don't know that I'm going to Counter Catcher somebody. Oh, the Iron Valiant without the tool, of course. That's the target to gust up there. That and right now it's Misfortune Sisters and Counter Catcher on that Iron Valiant. So, you know, they're going to get close to knocking out the Mimikyu this turn. They might actually take him out. Okay, Switch Cart 10, 20. So they're going to get 10 away from the knockout probably. If I draw the supporter to scoop up the Mimikyu, that might be the play I need to make, because I do have the Counter Catcher play to gust up the other Iron Valiant. Now they're, I think, going to swing into. They have the free retreat this turn, which I'm guessing they're going to use. So they're okay. Well, that's useful for sure. Okay, so all right, I think I got to try to make their life difficult. Okay, well, those are nice cards to lose. For sure. The filter was weird. It said, okay, so Iron Valiant. So hopefully he gets stuck. And I just end turn at this point. So if he can't, all right, because they only do damage when they swing into the active. So the fact that he's there and okay, so they're attaching the Medicham, so they're ready to really. Oh no, they're not attaching the Medicham. Okay, which is fine. Now Rope is very bad. Rope and they attach their Rapid Strike Energy. That's very bad. Haven't hit a stadium yet. The deck doesn't have an engine. Once the Rotom V gets knocked out, you've lost your draw. There are decks that play the Pidgeot EX. Okay, so let's see what happens. This, okay. So I want to, what do I want to do here? Let me take a look at my prizes, I guess, at this point. Not really sure what I want to do. I could counter, I could get my, all right, what do I want to get rid of? I'll get rid of those guys, I think, and I'll get rid of Echoing Horn. And I'll sit on this hand. Probably could get rid of Arven, and I will just end turn at this point. So basically, they just need, if they get a switch card, they just basically get game switch. They didn't get the second energy on Medicham, which is a bit odd. Okay, they have that now because they manually attached. Research, so switch, then they send up an Iron Valiant, get 20 on the Mimikyu. All right, I think this gives them game probably. Then they're going to so they're going to take out the Mimikyu. And then, yeah, and then Medicham V blows up my Snorlax. And that's it, right? Or they can retreat into Urshifu. It doesn't really matter. Well, no, they need to, actually, they don't have game this turn, do they? I apologize. I apologize for that. So I can get back the Mimikyu. It's dicey. They don't win this turn, right? They can't take out both Snorlax. So I've got to, okay. I need to get the Mimikyu down. I need to get Mimikyu back. They got to ping the bench, right? Oh, wait, is this going to get them what they need? I don't know if it does. They need, because they can do 120 to him on the bench. So their Gmax Rapid Float knocks out the active. What's that do? Okay, 2 searches for 2 future pokes. So they just fail just to look at their deck a little bit. We will see what happens here. They need another switching. They can retreat, but if they send up the Iron Valiant, which is fine, then they do 20, but then, which gets them to the number to knock him out. Okay, so this, all right, so they have, actually, they don't have game, do they? They needed to use one more. Okay. Well, that's a bit, all right, they might have just thrown the game there, too. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Okay, so, Yeah, so I'm going to gust up the Iron Valiant here without energy. I might as well attach my tool. It doesn't really matter. Let me toss. I want him back, right? I just want, yeah, that's what I want back. Okay, so I'll just do that play and just end turn at this point. Just end turn. So they might have game this turn. We'll see, right? We will see. I don't know what they have in hand. I don't know what they have in deck. They're getting low on resources, right? So, okay, so I'm going to Arven. I want to get this guy back, and I can get a tool back. That tool sounds nice. And they could, so there we go. Got the win, right? So the deck can get these games where my opponent was playing pretty well. Just, you know, the Misfortune Sisters with getting rid of the Switch. And this is a deck with a lot of Switch in it, right? It's a dangerous matchup, fighting attacker and that spread damage. And look at that. I'm up to, what is it? Yeah, a snub bull on the Poke League. Things reset the other day, so that's why I'm back down at this low level. So anyway, the deck did its thing. Hopefully you enjoyed that game. All right, let's see what happens here. Had a couple wins in a row. One was a very nice game that played it out. My opponent took 5 prizes. It was really close. Could have gone either way at the end. I think I ran him out of resources with the switching eventually. It was a deck with a good amount of switching in it too. But okay, so I do want to go first. My opponent probably wants to go first. And some ways going second, I think might be better for this deck, being able to play a supporter. Like if you get Misfortune Sisters like the last game on turn 1, it's a really nice thing. All right, my opponent's going to know I'm playing some type of a stall or control deck after that mulligan, which is okay. Not a good start, but you know, things could be worse. I have a heavy ball. Let's see, hopefully I have a Pokemon there. Obviously love to get Rotom V into play at the start of the game. Maybe I should play 2. A very important card there. So they drew for their mulligan. All right, so up against Curly, they have a lot of pieces that they can attack with, almost all of them. So give me something. Okay. All right, that's fine. I'm not going to lose this turn, though. At least I hope not. So I'm going to have to use Pokégear on my turn. Well, we'll see. You know, obviously they might disrupt my hand, too. So getting a bunch of rolls down, that's obviously really good for them. They can keep getting energies back and attack with obviously the key thing for them is not to utilize okay, let's see. So I'll grab the Peonia because I need, although there's no Pokemon there, right? So this is bad. This is bad. Okay, so there's nothing that I want a Peonia though, right? Maybe there is. I'm trying to remember. Was there? I know there's no Pokemon. But there might be a Pokemon search card, right? Actually, Erika, if they have the Radiant Greninja. All right, I'm going to make that play. And didn't work. If they had, because they probably play Radiant Greninja in the deck, so it just end turn then. Peonia, I don't remember if there was a Nest Ball, that would have been very good, and I shouldn't pay attention to that, and I should have, right? So that's a lesson learned there. Besides, when I look for with the Hisuian Heavy Ball, make sure I get pay attention to other cards that might be important to get, right? Now, the cards reshuffle, so the location doesn't matter. You're down to a 50-50 chance of drawing it or not. So if they rare candy, then they just win the game, basically, right? Rare candy, they should be able to knock me out. So getting rid of Iono, okay. They don't have anything, so getting rid of Iono makes a lot of sense. Although, to keep from decking out, they might need it. Look, they just need to play smart here, and I need to obviously, because they need to keep everything in play that they can attack with. The fact that they excel, I have to kind of use this damage situation to my advantage. Well, this is not good at all. I'm probably going to lose this next turn, right? I don't know where anything is, so I'll grab 1, 2, 3 like I usually do. Okay, got. That is good. Got that. All right, so I don't need Temple of Sinnoh this game. I need this. Penny, Arven. I'll get rid of Catcher, I guess. And I will get rid of... I mean, Arven can be really good, so I will get rid of... Wow, I do like all these cards, I gotta say. All right, I'll get rid of Penny. That might be a mistake. Definitely could be a mistake. All right, I'm going to get down... Well, let me take a look. I think I'm going to get down the Rotom because I need my engine going. All right, they might blow up my Rotom. That's a risk. I don't lose this turn. They can't take both Rotom and Snorlax out. But okay, good. So got another Nest Ball. Do I play another Penny in the deck? That's partly... Maybe I should have got rid of Misfortune Sisters, right? I think I should have made that my play. I should have kept the Penny, got rid of Misfortune Sisters. But I kind of figure I'm gonna get Rotom V knocked out in most games. That's kind of the way I approach it. So rather than they're playing 6 prizes to win the game, they're down to taking 5 knockouts to... I mean, they have to take 6 prizes, but they do it in 5 knockouts. 4 Snorlax and 1 Rotom V. And that's okay. The reason I don't play... Okay, so this is... that's a nice card for them. So he can knock me out, obviously. And I assume he will. Okay. We'll see what all my opponent does here, too. So attach for hand. Jirachi. Well, Jirachi. Now, that's a mistake. I mean, yes, they can attack with Jirachi, but it doesn't do any damage. So this is pretty good. That's good. So Jirachi should not have played that, right? Figuring it's safe, but I'm just going to keep gusting up Jirachi like every turn here, right? So I'm going to boss up the Jirachi, I think, right? That's what I do here. Boss up Jirachi. I'll wait on the Mimikyu. So I don't know if they have an out for this, right? I would love to have played Misfortune Sisters, right? That's going to be great. Okay, so I have 2 catchers. Very nice there. Yeah, so this is going well. So that Jirachi, huge mistake, may have cost them the game, honestly, right? That could be game over already for them. This is where you gotta... This is why I say, hey, you gotta understand how to play Stall. And they have a few switching cards, maybe. Right, at one point in time, Gardevoir played no switching cards because they had infinite energy acceleration. They feel like, oh, we can just attach energies and retreat. They lost to it, then people started playing Mawile to take advantage of that because it's attack. But Snorlax Stall is much easier. Okay, get another Ralts to get another Curlia down or something. But so I'm looking forward to hitting them with Misfortune Sisters and seeing what happens. Because switching cards is what they need. The Mimikyu, that stops the Gardevoir EX, so that kind of stops one of their attacking threats. And Zacian V if they play that in the deck as well. I guess the deck still plays it. It's a good attacker. I know it's a bit of a liability in some matchups, so I'm not sure what they're doing here. They're trying to set up the Gardevoir. I do need to get another Snorlax down. That is one thing because they can get out of it with Rope, and they play Rope, right? Get rid of those 2 cards. Okay. Just getting rid of some things and draw some cards here. I really do want to get another Snorlax down, though. That's a big deal to me, for sure. Okay, I think the Bravery Charm should help me, too. I like that. So getting energy, they may discard it. I'm eventually going to get Gardevoir EX into play, I assume. The nice thing that Curlia, they got to keep digging through the deck. I really don't know if they have an out though. Hopefully they know they have some out in their deck because otherwise, you probably should just hit concede if you can't. They're not slow playing, so I'm not accusing that at all. They're chugging along, trying to make things happen. I mean, what do they have? They maybe have one switching card in the deck. So honestly, things have to go really wrong for me for them to be able to pull this off, right? Because the Gardevoir only accelerates energy, psychic Pokemon. Right? If it accelerates psychic energy to any Pokemon, then they could attack, although this attack doesn't damage me, so I wouldn't care about that either, right? So I just need to, I really have not, oh, Arven, right? Let me grab, grab a Nest Ball. I'll grab this. Could grab Battle VIP Pass, but I don't think that it's necessary. So I will make this play. All right, so yeah, I got Pidgey for eventually. No need to worry about that. Might as well just kind of get things set up. I care about the Snorlaxes. Taking out the Rotom is whatever to me. Okay, so things are going nicely. I may show them the Pidgeot V at some point just to let them know I'm infinite. If they're hoping I'm going to deck out, you know. But they've dug through their deck a lot more than me, and they're continuing to discard cards. So we'll see what happens here. This is more of a stall. You know, this is going slow. Again, the question I have in my mind is, do they have a way out of this? Is there a win condition for them? And I don't know if there is. And if there's not, then, you know, at some point I may want to, I have the Penny, I may want to scoop up the Rotom, right? I still may do that. I don't mind giving it up as a knockout. They're going to deck out here, I'm pretty certain. So at some point, using the Penny play is actually pretty good for me, I think. So they just look through their deck. You know, is there anything they can do to get out of this position, right? I mean, I'm not attacking. They should understand that. Maybe they're brand new to Stall, in which case, you know, it's an educational moment for them. Don't know, right? So, you know, a card like Jirachi, you know, oh, it's got a good attack. It's never liability. Well, these cards aren't good in Stall matchups, right? Just don't bench a card like Jirachi. Don't do it. Yes, it can attack, but it can't do damage. If it could even do one damage counter on me, it would have value. It would have value for sure. But maybe I should have. Is there anything I want from the discard pile? Not particularly, right? Not particularly. Oh, maybe I do. Maybe. Oh, maybe, you know, if I can hit that, I wouldn't mind Erika's invitation, right? Let me see what's in their hand. Let me check out their hand. It lets me check out their hand. I don't know if I want. No, I think I'm going to just fail on that now that I think about it. I don't know if I have to put it into the active. That's my question, right? And if I have to put it into the active, then that's not good. I mean, if I have to play it, and it has to go in the active if I play it. Okay, so they got Boss. So they've broken the loop with Boss. So that's fine. They'll take the knockout. I'm gonna boss them up again though. All right, or I'm gonna actually if they knock me out, the nice thing is I can Counter Catcher and use Penny. Right? So this is the nice thing. This is where Counter Catcher is awesome. I Counter Catcher, or I could just use Cross Switcher too. You know, these things don't really matter. Maybe I'll use Cross Switcher. If I get Iono'd, Counter Catcher comes back easier. So, but again, Cross Switcher or Counter Catcher, it's an item, and then I'm going to Penny, just get the Rotom out of there, and just end the game, right? That should really just put things to rest once I do this. That was their play. Oh, I don't even need to knock him out, do I? So, Jirachi's up. Snorlax is up. I'll show my Pidgeot V because just let them know that there's nothing they can do. And end my turn. So this should be end of game coming up in a second, I think. We'll see. I mean, they could Iono and drag things out. I have so many switches. They're not, maybe I was greedy keeping the Rotom V in play so long. Again, I don't think it matters. So they were stuck there. The boss was their out. Even if they had more bosses, it wasn't going to do anything for them. And even if they had some switches, I don't think they were going to be able to switch. I'd have to get very unlucky with my draws not to be able to put them back into that lock spot. So, look, Stall's for real. It's pretty good. And I think now with Counter Catcher, it's probably going to be quite good. So just, keep your eye on the deck. Know how to play it. Even if you don't want to play it, know how to play against it, right? And the best way to learn to play against a deck is give it a few tries. So go ahead, give this deck a try. I do think it is very, very solid.